Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar tonight. This is Sarah Green, provisional psychologist and relationship therapist. Tonight, we are going to have a look on the factors that keep the spark alive in long-term relationship. And we are going to look at the science-backed strategies, how to sustain love in long-term relationships, and the psychological foundation of lasting passion. And also, we will look at the practical tools for couples at any stage. So, why the spark fades? I think everyone has heard that, the first 6 months until a year and a half, usually, or maximum 2 years, there are more spark, and as the relationship goes on, the spark fades. So, what happens over time? So, usually over time, couples shift from passionate love to compassionate love. And this is a natural transition. It can be disappointing for some couples, especially if they don't expect it or they don't know what's happening. It's more because at the beginning of the relationship, there are more dopamine hormone there, and also adrenaline, the hormone which are linked to excitement. And then as the relationship goes on, it goes to the hormone which is more bonding hormone and attachment, which is serotonin hormone. So some couples thinks, okay, that's become boring, or there's no excitement, or there's no love. But actually, the nature of that has changed. It doesn't mean that there is nothing there. So what affects this? The routine, parenting stress, work demands, and also familiarity. They all can reduce dopamine and emotional excitement. So, Esther Perel, she's a famous psychiatrist. She says that love rests on two pillars, surrender and autonomy. Our needs for togetherness exist alongside our need for separatedness. So, what does this mean? So, she says that actually, human have two basic needs. One is freedom, and the other one is sense of belonging and attachment. So we all have these two needs together. So we all human dance between these two needs. So we want closeness and like attachment, and at the same time we want our own freedom. So she says then love has two pillars. Surrender means the attachment, and autonomy, she means freedom. So, routine, dulls excitement. So daily patterns become predictable, reducing novelty and anticipation. So even like with a job, I think probably you have noticed if you are in a job for long term, like if there is nothing new or no excitement, it can become, it's predictable, then the excitement goes away. So the other thing is also external stressors, work, parenting, life responsibility, they all drain emotional energy. And also the familiarity effects. Usually the brain adapts to stimuli, making even wonderful partner feel ordinary. So the psychology of long-term relationship. We are now looking at what's happening in the brain and everything, so why that happens. So the brain adapts to stimuli through hedonic adaptation, meaning what once thrilled us become a background noise. So Dr. Helen Fisher research on brain chemistry shows that dopamine linked to excitement thrives on novelty, mystery, and anticipation. So the brain wants to return to a baseline level of happiness. After like being together, and when we love someone and we reach um and like they live together, usually despite all positive changes happen at the beginning, they seem so happy and like excited to starting a new life together. But after a while, the brain comes back to the stage which is the baseline stage of happiness. And then the couples usually think, oh, okay, so the love has gone or there's no spark. And there are also brain chemistry. There are dopamine and other neurotransmitters, which they all respond strongly to novelty and unpredictability. So, but we also have like other hormones which bring emotional connection. For example, um, serotonin is a hormone that create deep emotional intimacy, and also oxytocin. When a couple, live together and they have intimacy, every time they have intimacy, they produce lots of oxytocin hormone, which is a bonding hormone. So in long-term relationship, like usually the hormone would be oxytocin, and the serotonin hormone comes from that, the assurance and like the consistency of that. But in short term, it's more excitement and dopamine, which people feel more a spark. And also self-expansion theory that also says that in long-term relationship, growing together through new experiences that can create bonding. So how we can rekindle through novelty? Um, Trying something new together every month can be helpful, like traveling, new hobbies, or even changing the order of the weekend routine. Studies show that shared novel experiences increase relationship satisfaction and passion. A relationship coach, Matthew Hussey, notes that curiosity keeps relationships alive. Be fascinated by your partner again. So things like taking a salsa dance class, so physical movement together can create new connection, or like digital detox gateway, um, disconnecting from technology and to reconnect with each other can help. Learning a language also can help. Shared learning creates vulnerability and attachment. So, also, like they can, for example, try cooking a new cuisine together, explore new flavors, and like try new restaurants together. So there are different ways to bring um, kind of novelty into the relationship. And I think usually couples they become like so involved in their routine work and everything, and they forgot that they need to plan for novelty every month at least. So what else they can do, like to couples to bring back the spark? So the emotional intimacy is also important if they can deepen that. Um, Passion is sustained when emotional safety is nurtured. So through like creating daily rituals, for example, 10 minutes check-ins, gratitude sharing, or bedtime pillow talks, they all build this foundation for lasting desire. So Gottman has in his method emphasized that turn toward each other instead of away. So, and the simple principle transforms every moment into opportunities for connection. So, mm, this says that um, for like every opportunity couple have, even if it's small, they try to use that opportunity and moment for connection. So it might be like, can I get for example, pour a coffee for you or tea for you, or like it might be a slight, like a little bit touch, or like it can be anything, but using like every opportunity for connection, that's what Gottman actually emphasized. So for example, for morning connection, before, for example, leaving the house for work, they can share one hope for each other. For example, I hope you have a great day, or for example, this goes well for you. And they can have a midday check-in, like a brief text or call to show that you're thinking of them. An evening ritual, device-free, for example, dinner with meaningful conversation and bedtime connection. Uh, like what made you feel loved today, or in bedtime, like checking about trying to kind of bring positive things, like experience shows like it's not the best time to bring like arguments or negative like before sleep. So anything like what's happened today that you have been grateful, or what made you feel loved today, or um rather than complaining about day, which most people do. So if like make it like as a routine to shift the brain to something positive, or like asking how can I, for example, love you better, or in which way, what did you like about our relationship today, or things like that, which it would be more like, bring closeness rather than distance. And so the what is the next point? The next point is maintain a space and individuality. This is something that many couples don't know. As they come to their relationship, they think, oh, they should go everywhere together, or stick together, or plan together. And that all can also kill novelty. So time apart usually a strength and desire. And this autonomy, freedom allows partners to reconnect with who they are. So codependency, they all can suffocate attraction and diminish the mystery that fuels passion. So relationship expert Jason Gaddis says that you can desire someone you have emotionally merged with, which encourages each other to pursue individual dreams, create a space for attraction to flourish. So this has several benefits for like autonomy, like creates mystery and anticipation, provide new experiences to share, maintain individual identity, and reduces codependency and builds respect and admiration. So the real life example would be a wife, for example, started a painting class again while her husband joined a running club. For example, on Sunday or weekend, they return home with new energy, stories, and perspectives to share, creating natural opportunities for curiosity and conversation. So this time apart allow them to miss each other and then appreciate their reunion, and that can bring a spark back, and the familiarity also diminished. So how to reignite physical intimacy? I think that is an area that many long-term relationships suffers, and like they have challenges. So usually intimacy often declines. It can be due to stress, fatigue, shame even. Um, what they like, the relationships and psychologists they recommend is that rather than waiting for a spontaneous desire, schedule intimacy can create anticipation and ensure connection remains a priority. So it's interesting that this Dr. Emily Nagoski, she says that desire doesn't always come before intimacy. Often it follows it. So this insight helps couple overcome the myth that passion must be spontaneous to be authentic. So some couples, they don't reach to each other and they don't have intimacy because they think, oh, I don't have a feeling to have that. But if they schedule for that, for example, every, I don't know, Friday night, every Saturday night, or every few days, they have a kind of schedule for that. As they start, then they usually passion also comes as well. So that is what this psychologist suggests for that. And the other things they can do, like the non-goal oriented touch, which is it means that it shouldn't be always the touch, for doing something like going to intimacy. It can be like, just touch to kind of rebuild physical connection without pressure. So, even they say it's good to have it through a day and not just before intimacy. And also having a sensual date night, like create a like date night with no phones, low lights, soft music, and intentional presence. Um, and the other things which is important is discuss desires. And I've also want to add here fantasies are very important. If the couple try to kind of share and be vulnerable, and that plays also a role. They know about each other desires, preferences, and they try to not to be shy and also share some of their fantasies, their way that they desire intimacy. And simple activities that can create like physical connection, like dancing in a living room, or and things like that, which also can bring physical connection. So, and this was about intimacy, and now we go to express appreciation often. This is so important. I think in long-term relationship, research shows that appreciation is so important to bring kind of a back spark. The longer we are with someone, the more we assume they know we care, but express appreciation is essential for maintaining connection. Research from the Gottman Institute established, they say that 5-1 rule, which means 5 positive interactions for every negative one. And that is because of the brain. The brain remember negative things more than the positive. So the Gottman says you should do 5 positive interactions daily. And if you do one negative, to guarantee that your relationship will last. Um, and this daily gratitude can strengthen love and trust. And it's also create a culture of appreciation rather than criticism. So daily text, you can use daily text, send one message of appreciation each morning to start the day, or gratitude journal. You can have a shared gratitude journal. I remember it like once, like a relationship therapist was recommending putting like on a like bathroom a gratitude journal and writing some things that you are like kind of have been grateful for your partner that day. So, verbal affirmation is important, speak appreciation, especially for things often take for granted, and thoughtful gesture, small acts of service that show that you are paying attention to their needs. So the last like kind of point would be we should try to handle conflict with love. That is very important. So conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but the key is managing it in a healthy way that strengthens rather than damage connection. Like we should try to avoid blame, using I feel statement and validate emotions, create safety during the disagreements. So Sue Johnson explains under every criticism is a longing. Find the longing. This perspective transforms conflicts into opportunities for deeper understanding. So there are several techniques that we can use in conflict that It like for example, pause before responding, take a breath to regulate emotion, or even like, ask for a kind of timeout or 10 minutes to cool down and then come back to the conversation. So listen to understand. Many people, when they go to the conflict, they try to just defend themselves, and they just try to convey their own points, and they don't listen to understand what's happening with their partner. And the other thing would be validate the feeling, acknowledge that emotions are legitimate, and so that's also very important. And also finding some shared goal, identify what we both truly want. So for conflicts, there are many things actually couple can do, but yeah, so active listening, validate feeling, and also like just reminding each other that we are like a team. And as you see it's escalating, say, oh, wait a moment, we let's find a solution as a team. We shouldn't be against each other. Like, and it's also recommended not to sit like in front of each other or confronting. And you can sit like beside each other and even use kind of touching or taking hands, and then start kind of saying what you are not happy with and things like that. These are also helps to kind of navigate conflict with love. Okay, so one more thing. So create meaningful rituals. So it's very important, like, that couples have kind of some predictability and connection and stability in their relationship. And they can do that through creating some rituals. Everyone is busy, and but every relationship deserves dedicated time and attention. So, creating intentional relationship rituals that can ensure that connection doesn't get lost in daily responsibilities. So, what are the examples of that? For example, a couple can create a ritual tea and talk. Every Sunday afternoon, they sit down and they reconnect without using their screens. This simple practice, like they can kind of help their relationship, and it's a reliable space for both of them to have casual conversation and deep sharing. So yeah, every week, kind of some people say, okay, have a date night or a ritual to kind of sit and have a deep conversation, things like that, that they can improve um, and bring back the spark. So and I think there is another one which is very important and would be building shared meaning and kind of vision. They say that the couple who have shared meaning and vision and they have aligned values, they usually, this couple, they feel they are in a team, and because they are working toward those shared values, they feel more connected. A relationship like expert Terry Coles says that conscious couples co-create the life they want. This collaborative approach transforms a relationship from simply sharing a space to sharing purpose. So it's very important that couple, they try to explore their values and their goals in life and see if they have like any goals or vision together, and then they try to work towards that. So it can be a project. They just, talk about, oh, maybe building a house together. Like, it can be like bringing children. It can be like going like traveling somewhere, like a long traveling, like for example, planning for that. But it's more about this is more about like a long-term vision rather than the short one, something which is brings more meaning to them. For example, the couples who usually they work for a charity together. For example, every month go for an event, or the couples who are have some religious or spiritual beliefs and like they have shared goals in that. They can have a plan, for example something which is spiritual or religious. They put a goal and they go towards that. Or it can be like anything, but if it is something that is a more kind of a bit long term and is meaningful, that really helps to also connect the couple together. So what else? The final takeaway would be um, passion is not lost, it's often buried under routine and stress. So, with curiosity, effort, and love, the spark can be reignited at any stage of a relationship. The key is consistent, intentional practice rather than waiting for spontaneous feelings. So, Dr. Alexandra Solomon says that love is not something we find, it's something we practice. So embrace novelty, regularly try new experiences together to stimulate dopamine and create shared memories. Express appreciation, cultivate a habit of noticing and verbalizing what you value about your partner. Emotional check-ins, create regular opportunities for meaningful connection and vulnerable sharing, and pursue shared goals. So collaborate on meaningful projects that align with your values as a couple. So the resources, one famous book, which is for Esther Perel, is Mating in Captivity. And there is also love language quiz um, from like Gary Chapman's, which help you identify you and your partner, their love language and their preferences. And also there are some weekly connection kind of planner, which you can use to plan things together and make a connection a priority in your calendar. So we are getting to the end of this webinar. Um, Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And